I'm Tierney Smith for Bass City Beat, and we're here at WDIV Local 4 to get an inside scoop of the broadcasting world.
Your teacher director sent me a DVD, and I was extremely impressed. And I have to say, my dad was visiting from out of town from Pittsburgh, and he was a high school teacher for 37 years in the suburb of Pittsburgh, and they have a similar program. And he said that you guys, he just couldn't stop raving about you. He said you're very professional. It didn't seem like a bunch of high school kids. All the editing looked professional, and so we were both very impressed.
Actually, when I was in the Navy, I had friends that had spouses that worked at WDIV, and from there I got to know Rachel, and I asked her to get in contact with you, and I just wanted the kids to have the maximum exposure to a possible career field that they're looking into.
The fact that you didn't seem like high school kids on camera for the first or even 10th time, all nervous and giggling, and you were very smooth and polished. The editing was very professional. It was very fast, and I could tell that everyone was having a good time.
I had a friend who was a disc jockey at a radio station in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I would go with the friend when it was time for the shift. And rather than listening to the music, I was over watching what was going on in the news department of the radio station. I became very, very, very interested in news in that way.
I was the kid in high school that kind of knew things that were going on. I was a news junkie back then. I was also in competitive speaking. It was called forensics back then. We'd go and compete against other students. So I was used to public speaking, and I liked following what was going on, and then I really came to like the creative process of putting all this together into a television story.
It was either prison or this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had no ability to do anything else in my life. I couldn't hold a legitimate job, so I came into television.
I always tell students that it's fine if you want to go to journalism school, that's great, but to me, the best people are the ones who know how to find things out, learn how to learn how to research, and have a lot of interests as opposed to just studying journalism.
I would say, again, if you're a student and you want to get into television news reporting, then I would say become an expert in a topic, become an expert in business, become an expert in history, become an expert in economics, something of that nature, so that you can then go to the place where you want to get your first job and say, I'm not only a reporter who can report on anything, but I'm an expert, and I can bring home the economic news of the day to your viewers in an interesting way for television, and that will help you get that first job. And the other key is speak another language. Don't just speak English. Become bilingual, and that will also open the door to many other television markets for your first job.
Open a grocery store.
Why open a grocery store?
Or something else.
Anything else?
I would say this business is changing and changing dramatically, and it's just not television anymore. You've got to be able to have different sources, the iPod, the internet, everything like that. So if you go into TV, make sure you're well adapted into everything else.
The best part is all that great stuff you know about 30 seconds before it goes on television, and we all like to blab everything we know. That's what makes us news people, and just the ability to have people go, oh wow, I didn't know that, makes me feel happy.
When you can look back at the day and say, gosh, we did really great today. We were all over the place. We brought our viewers the best stories that make a difference to them. And we cover them well.
Challenging, the hours, getting up at 2:30 in the morning, that's a challenge. And then, of course, timing, our time constraints in broadcasting, which that will never go away. It's just something you have to get used to. But you might have a great story with a lot of visuals and sound, and you'll always, wish you had 15 more minutes or another hour. And so that's always a challenge.
You'll find out a lot about yourself, about how you deal with situations. Some people, I've been doing this for 27 years, 28 years, and anything that happens with kids, that's still kind of hits home. When it's adults, or if it's, like drug dealings that go bad and somebody gets shot, you just kind of get jaded by it, and you just let it go up one side, down the other, but anything that happens to kids, you get upset with it.
I'm off on Saturday and Sunday.
What's the worst part of your job?
I work Monday through Friday. The best part of my job is I love sports and I love what I do. So that's the best part of my job. To get paid to watch games, It's the best. The worst part of my job is probably the travel and the amount of time you're away from your family.
There's no one way to get here. You could take multiple different ways. You can go to all these different schools. You can go any route, but if you see a place you want to be, just go there.
I'm lucky to be working with Rachel Bianco. Whatever they're paying her, it's not enough.
Thanks for coming to our station. It's been fun.
Well, us Best Beaters had a blast at WDIV, and we want to thank Rachel Bianco and the entire crew of Local 4 for allowing us just to run around the station and have a blast and learn everything about broadcasting. But it is time for us to fly home in our brand new helicopter now and get some shots from above. So for Best TV, I'm Tierney Smith.
Okay, well, our day here at Channel 4 is coming to an end. We'd like to give a special thanks to Neil Goldstein, the Vice President and News Director here, for taking time out of his busy day to talk to us. And now that we have this snazzy new helicopter, I'm going to hitch us a ride home at 120 miles per hour. So we'll see you back in Mount Clemens.